actually starts in the skin prep. So you could use the best high-end primers you can find, but if your skin is not prepped properly, it is not going to sit well. And who really wants like the cakey, makeupy look? But remember, makeup will always look like makeup, and I'll say this until I die, makeup will always look like makeup on your skin. So to try to obtain the flawless Photoshop finish, like undetectable makeup, it is not realistic. Stop listening to things that you see online. Anyways, so I'm actually going to start with this Embryolisse Laboratories. This is a multi-functioning, nourishing moisturizer. So it is a moisturizer, makeup base, moisturizing mask, and a makeup remover milk, which is funny to me because I'm like, how are you a makeup base, but you could also remove makeup? This is for all skin types, and it is dermatologically tested. That word always gets me. This has a lot of good ingredients like emollient oil, natural origin shea butter, beeswax, aloe vera, and soy proteins. And I got this from Shoppers Drug Mart. So a little bit goes a very long way, so you do not need a lot of this. So I'm just gonna put about this much on my hand, and now I'm just going to apply this all over my skin. This smells very nostalgic to me personally. It's like a mixture of powder and like a rose type of scent. It actually smells like this powder my grandma used to use on me when I was a very little girl. After showers, she would like put cream on. Well, I would put the cream on, but then she would give me her like rose scented powder with like a big puff, and it was just so nostalgic. Anyways, yeah, so this just creates a nice, supple, glowy, perfect, like smooth base for your makeup to go on. And now we can go in with our primers. So before I started using the Embryolisse cream, I would use the niacinamide 2 drops by Glow Recipe. I still swear by them, so nothing's wrong with that. I think they're actually in the same price range, so I guess it's just your personal preference. But me personally, right now, I'm loving the Embryolisse cream. And just for a slight blurring effect, I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Baby Skin Primer. This is a classic, and if you know, you know. It's so cheap. It's such a good alternative to like the Smashbox primer, which is very expensive, but this is just gonna blur your pores, fill in any fine lines, and really soften the area that you want to be poreless. But again, everybody has pores, so if a product claims to completely remove pores, they're lying. I feel like I used to get very caught up in my skin looking perfect when I was doing my makeup, that I would get very discouraged because I was comparing it to what I see online, and that's just so not realistic. For brows, we're gonna keep it sort of simple. We're just gonna go in with this waterproof brow gel, and I didn't actually buy this. My mom got this for me, but it is by Cara Beauty, and I actually love this. It's like a little mini, just like easy to get into little brush. And I'm just looking down here in my mirror, if you're wondering. This just like fills in any of the sparse areas of my brows, while also allowing them to keep their original shape without doing too much. I love this little product. After that, I'm just gonna go in with the e.l.f. brow pencil in the shade Neutral, and I'm just gonna very slightly fill in the fronts of my eyebrows. Very slightly. I don't want it to look too harsh. And then extend the tail, also just very slightly. Now we're like skip this step easily. Me personally, I love the way this makes my makeup look. It just gives it that extra like put together feel, and it's even good for when you're growing out your eyebrow hairs because it does conceal them just very slightly. Also, it is the middle of the day, so I do apologize for outside noise. I know this looks crazy, don't worry. I'm just taking this little Real Techniques brush and blending. Makeup is a very trust the process, so if at any point you're like, your makeup looks insane, just wait. Okay, so I've been doing this a lot recently, but it's called underpainting, and it's basically when you do your concealer and your contour underneath your foundation, so it looks even more natural and less like drawn on. But you could also very easily do your foundation or concealer base first and then do your blush and contour on top. You can really do whatever. Makeup has absolutely no rules, despite what some mean people say. Makeup has no rules. You can do whatever you want. It's a form of expression, it's a form of art. So really just do what's easy for you, do what looks good on you, do what you enjoy, and what anybody else has to say about it. Anyways, so this is the Fenty contour stick, and it's in the shade Amber, which is a very cool toned contour, and I talk about this in a lot of my other makeup videos. But when you're doing contour, you want to go for a cool toned color because warm is more bronzer. So when you want to create shadows for contour, you want to use a cooler tone. And I just go into where I want there to be natural shadows. And then at the top of my forehead, I'm going to go in with a bronzer. This is the Rare Beauty cream bronzer in the shade Happy Soul. And I'm just going to literally paint this up there. And now I'm just going to blend this out. So when you're blending anything into your cheeks or into your jaw, or like just blending in general, don't drag, because if you drag it, you might create streaks. And when you move on to later steps of this routine, you don't want to like smudge or rub or just like expose any other layers of the makeup. So you just want to make sure you're always tapping and patting your way through this makeup routine. Also, just ignore the beauty blender being a little bit dirty. I feel like it works better that way. Is that weird? Like, I feel like makeup brushes and makeup sponges work better for me when they're slightly dirty. I know, it's pretty gross. Alright, now that we've done the contour and bronzer, we're gonna move on to blush. Every video I post, I get tons of comments. What blush is that? What blush are you using? How do you do your blush? So this right here is the secret, the piece de resistance. This is the one size, sorry, my nose is itchy. The one size cheek clapper blush trio palette in the shade Attention Seeker. So there's 3 shades in this. One of them is a cream, one of them is a powder, the other one is like a shimmer. These are the shade names: Thirsty, Yes Sir, and Kisses Please. And as you can see, the cream one gets used the most, and that's what I use for my blush. So I just take a little dense Real Techniques past your pupil line, at least for my personal base shape. You could Google like blushes for different base shapes, because makeup is supposed to accentuate your features. So once you figure out the base shape you have, the base type, the skin type, you'll be able to almost like hack the makeup system. For me, I keep my blush on the high points of my cheekbones, slightly even like into this temple area, and never do I go past my pupils. And sometimes I'll put just a little bit on my nose. Now again, I know this looks very crazy, but it's not going to stay this way. Okay, now we're going to move on to concealer. I actually just got this concealer a few days ago, and it's quickly become my all-time favorite. I know that's a bold statement, but this is the Hourglass. Shoot, I actually forgot like the full name of the concealer, but if you go on Sephora or I think Ulta, Hourglass, this is in the shade Sepia. Oh, it's the Vanish. It's the Vanish concealer. That sounds good. And I like to put this just here, right here, here. And please remember when doing makeup that less is more, unless of course your preference is to do more, then all the power to you. So this is where I like to place my concealer, and then taking the same brush I used. Did I use this brush yet? Oh yeah, I used this brush under my eyebrows. I'm gonna use this brush again to gently blend out again by tapping this into my skin. This is where everything begins to come together a little bit more. Yep. Like the finish is so beautiful. It doesn't feel too heavy. And I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, my makeup never creases, because it totally does, because that's normal. And I'm not gonna be like, oh, this concealer never creases. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It does crease a little bit, but that's because we have real skin with real lines on it. And that's just the reality, which is totally fine and normal. So yeah, we're just continuing to blend all this out, and I will go back in to fix the lines, the harsher lines that you're probably seeing right now. And I don't like to bring my concealer to the ball of my nose, because I like the little like what's the word, like tip, the little like tip. I don't know the word for it. But so yeah, we have this. Now I'm just gonna take this disgusting beauty blender and just blend across everything. And then before I start to bake and set, I'm actually gonna spray my face with a setting spray. This is the NYX Dewy Finish setting spray. I've been using this for years. It's literally my go-to. So I'm just gonna spray this onto my face, not too close, not too far away, and not too many sprays. Perfect. And we're just gonna let that dry for a minute or two. And while we're waiting for that to dry, we're gonna get our under eye baking powder out. This is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake powder in the shade Pound Cake. This is my second purchase. I actually just got rid of my old one big sometimes. It's like so much big and so much powder. That's ridiculous. Unless you want to do it that way and unless that works for you. But there's just no need. You're wasting your powder. For the rest of my face, I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. And this is just for setting pretty much everything else that is not my under eyes. I'm going to use this fluffy brush. We're just going to go in and tap around everything else, not dragging. If you want to go for more of a dewy look, then you could skip powder all around. I love the Laura Mercier powder mixed with the Huda Beauty because it really does give such a flawless finish and like a flawless look to everything. And I really enjoy the way that it looks in real life as well. Alright, so the base is done for now. We're going to add finishing touches at the end, but now we're going to move on to eyes. So first, I like to do eyeshadow, but not too much. I just like to use a little, like a bronzer shade. This is the Charlotte Tilbury. I think this is called like Flawless Finish Powder, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but this is in the shade 4 Deep. And then I'm gonna be taking a little bit more of a dense, fluffy brush, and I'm gonna just be going in the outer corner and the crease, moving in slight circular motions. And if you want to bring your bronzer out to the corner, it will immediately give you a more elongated cat eye effect for your eyes, which I personally do like. And then I'm gonna just add some to my nose because I am a nose contour fiend and I just love it so much. So we have the eyeshadow done. Feel free to add more, not do it at all. Literally, it's completely up to you. But now we're going to actually use some eyelash clusters. You could get these from legitimately anywhere. These specifically are from a store called Miniso. And I've used all of the 16 length ones, but it's because those are my favorite ones. But I'm going to be using 2 14s. So this one and this one, just one on each corner of my eye, secured with a little bit of lash glue. So I'm just gonna grab this with some tweezers. Excuse me. I'm gonna grab a little bit of my lash adhesive and I'm gonna just lightly and slightly add some glue on the under parts of the lashes. And then I'm going to let it get slightly tacky. And then, as simple as it sounds and is, I'm just going to put it underneath the corner of my eye. I'm going to be looking down at the mirror. Perfect. When the glue dries, you won't see like the little white bits. And now I'm going to just do the exact same thing on the other eye. Apply the lash adhesive to the under parts of the eyelash cluster. Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Iconic Nude. So let me just, oh, my hands are a little bit moisturized, too moisturized for this. That didn't sharpen the way I thought. Maybe I won't sharpen this right now. We still have a little nub. So just like how you would normally lip line your lips, to your preference. Sometimes I like to go over my Cupid's bow, but today I'm gonna accentuate it. And then mixed in with that, I know it's a little bit extra, the Charlotte Tilbury lip cheat in the shade Pillow Talk, just to go right over that. Then just in the middle, right here, to add some dimension, I'm gonna use the MAC lipstick in the shade Saint Germain and blend it out with my lips. And then at the very, very end, we'll add some lip gloss. So now that my now that my eyelash glue is pretty solidified, sticky, dried, we're gonna do some mascara. This is the Lash Sensational Sky High. Lash Sensational Sky High. And we're just gonna slightly just do some mascara. Not too much, just a little bit of mascara. And then we're gonna also get it onto the eyelashes. And now I'm gonna do the next eye. And already, I know you can tell that made a big difference. It's my favorite part. Now I'm gonna do on top of my lipstick this Victoria's Secret Color Shine Lip Gloss Starstruck. It is literally beautiful. And I'm gonna just put this on my lips. And then for just a little bit of added gloss, this is the Laneige Glowy Lip Balm in the, not shade, in the Taste Gummy Bear. And now the finishing touches to this makeup look is adding a little bit of highlighter. I like to go in with my hand. This is the Dior Universal Backstage palette. I like to go in with the gold and a little bit of the silver on the tip of my nose, on the bridge, and then I like to use this next product very sparingly because it unfortunately is discontinued. It's the NYX Glam Shadow Stick, and it's in the shade Yellow Diamond. Just a little bit in the inner corners. Just a little bit in the inner corner. It really brightens up your eyes and highlights in all of the right places. So there's that. Now I'm going to finish off with some more setting spray